We got ourselves Beatman, potentially going to be first though, but maybe not. Trying to see if he can figure it out. Maybe he is going to be first. I think he's trying to figure out if it's going to be him or not, but it's going to be Chicago instead. Going to be first up versus Tara. As they're walking up and stun. Chicago could go for a knockback, does go for the knockback, trying to see if he can close the gap. Actually, were you able to Skull Bash to get back in there? Does it interrupt your Skull Bash or does it interrupt your Convoke? Big damage on Chicago, actually played out profusely, may just have to use everything they can defensively in order to survive this, trying to not give up too many defenses, actually trying to see if he can maybe counter-offensive together with Tara, trying to be very, very careful with the Maelstrom spending as they're going to go for big blasts versus Tara. Wall to follow, Tara trying to see if he can get himself in a bit of a better position as they go in full defensive, Heart of the Wild immediately, just trying to see if they can play off into full offensive gameplay. Convoke coming back up in about 27 seconds, but I don't even know they're surviving to it. It's gonna be Chicago taking him down with the Amarok. Gonna be up next as an elemental Shaman. Oh, is it him or Flamin'? Looks like Amarok backs up. I think it was supposed to be Flamin' maybe, or maybe it was a little bit of confusion either way though. But it looks like Amarok does end up taking a step back just to make sure that this duel stays as a 1v1. It might have been a situation where Amarok was supposed to go first and it's confusion. But I do appreciate Amarok for at least, whether he was supposed to go first or not, I appreciate him for trying to keep it as a fair 1v1 as possible. And the Chicago's gonna have an extra flame shock on him for a little bit here. Flamey does end up going for a bit of a dark pack. Are you playing with a pet? Do you play with a succubus or are you just like solo right now? He might be, I think he was trying to fly solo, but he ended up swapping out to succubus. I'm not sure if he's playing the Grimoire build. He may be. Bonza fell. Chicago Trinkets eats the fire damage early on, but as long as he can hide away from flame and hide away from the bombardment of chaos, but incinerates and all that chaos, fire, that might be okay. Trying to see if we can go for a grounding totem. It is going to help out quite a bit. Burrow, not going to play him for a second. Does he have any go off of that? Ghosts are up, but his soul does get ripped out of his body. So it's going to be Chicago seeing reduced damage, but also reduced self-healing. Can't really recover super easily. Got himself Primordial. The soul is right over there, but definitely try to build up as much Maelstrom and use that in order to heal himself and recover. As Flamin' got himself plenty of those instant casts. They're not as powerful as they were before, but still plenty of pressure. Chicago tries to go in for a Sunder, doesn't quite connect. Mortal sent in, allows Flamin' to get a Mortal Fear combo immolate right after. Does not have the Chaos Bolts to follow, is going to get interrupted on the fire, but still can open up the portals into the realms of the Shadow. Shadow Fury right after, as Chicago gets himself the Fiery Wolves. Maybe that's where you can go for some fire damage, knocking back Flamin' just to make sure he doesn't get a proper cast into Lightning Lasso right after, trying to see if he can lock him down for just a moment. Chicago just needs a couple more globes to take him out. Again, interrupt him on fire. Flamin' taking a lot of damage, but it's going to be a Soul Burn, Shadow, Soulstone, oh no, Soulstone, Hellstone. And Chicago try to see if he can chip away at his defenses from around the corner. I think Flamin' does end up sacrificing Succubus. I think he goes in for Succubus when he needs CC, but then he'll sacrifice it just to get himself that raw damage of the Grimoire sacrifice as much as possible versus Chicago. And as long as he has an Immolate in Chicago, he'll be okay. Ripping Chicago's soul right now. It's going to be Chicago trinketing with an interrupt on the fear, still able to summon a lot of portals, at least one portal extra, but Flamin' taking a lot of damage. This is where Chicago can maybe go for the hit and run strats. Primordial with a Lightning Bolt, Fear, does end up breaking out of it to Tremor. It's going to try to see if we can take down Flamin'. Lasso, I think it may be over trinket for Flamin'. Did himself a little bit of recovery. May need to go for Reflect and then gets cast out, but looks like Chicago does go in for the Lava Lashes as they get himself the Lava Elemental Shaman, Elemental Wolfie. And trying to go for a bit of an outdo with Amarok, going for a nice little bow. It's an opportunity for Amarok to just continue the onslaught here and take down Chicago while they're still behind on some of their cooldowns, like the Trinket, like the Ghosties for a little bit, like the Generational. But Chicago is recovering back defensively as Amarok is going to be out in the open, does get ruined to Chicago with a stun. It's going to be Chicago eliminated totem. He's going to go for Burrow. Cannot get knocked back by Amarok. Is going to knock him up in the air instead. Lightning Lasso catches Chicago, trying to see if he can knock back the Elemental Shaman just to break the tether. Not enough. Is going to go for yet another knockback with that Shield Mastery. As Amarok does end up using a wall here, trying to see if he can set up another stun totem on Chicago. It is a double stun totem. Shoot one eliminated. Does end up frost shocking it. Light the lasso into Amarok. As long as the Elemental Shaman does not have a knockback, Chicago should be okay. It's going to be root for root. Both Shamans are entangled with one another. It is going to be static totem for Amarok, but Chicago breaks out of it, though. Has to set the root the entire time. Has the ability to reconnect. Big Ellie Blaster to Amarok. Got himself the Standard Walker's Grace in order to give himself some casting while moving, but also uninterruptible for a short moment. Stunned by the Earth Elemental. Chicago just has to root that particular place and maybe get himself a bit more Maelstrom. Has to reconnect with Amarok. He's able to recover a lot of health right now. Chicago getting pwned? Aaron, I don't know about that. I guess we'll see with this match though, yeah? Because I feel like Chicago did really well against Destruction. Let's see, Chicago, you got some fan base over here. What is this? And it's gonna be Burrow for Amarok. Doesn't use the defense offensively. Goes in for defensive Burrow instead, which probably is a safer play, but Lasso, I think, seals the deal. Cannot knock the other Shaman back far enough, and Chicago does end up eliminating Amarok. The Elite Shaman played that admirably. But there's only so much you can do, because Enhancement does have a lot of mobility, lots of damage, and even though it's a melee class, it can still reach you from a good bit of distance. It's going to be Shady. Again, super invisible. It's got to be on my end, right? That he's just actually invisible. Void Eruption. Mind Games. Is it going to be grounding? I think it wasn't a grounding. I think Chicago just taking the Mind Games quick route onto Shady and just going to try and see if they can back away, wait until the whole scene is over, and then go in for a bit of healing once the Mind Games is off. It is going to be the Spirit Healing Stream Totem. Healing him, actually do quite a bit of healing at 32% dampening. Nice bit of passive healing, but you definitely want to establish that totem as early as possible just to let the HOTS or the periodic healing kind of roll over. Chicago taking a bit of damage, does end up going for a while. Shady forced to go into disperse as he felt pressured, but Chicago just trying to see if he can maybe back up and then maybe have another go versus Shady. Mind Blast to follow, try to see if we get a couple of casts. It's going to be a quick interrupt. Chicago trying to see if we can maximize some damage to follow. It's going to be a Shadow Crash right after him into a Vampiric Touch. Chicago just trying to see if he can find himself a bit of a break versus Shady as they got himself a Siphon join in. As long as he can maybe disrupt any of those casts from Shady. Knock up to follow Sunder right after, big damage. Oh my goodness, the big haymaker. He knocks him up and slams him down with a Sunder. That's so good. Oh my goodness, Sunder onto Harambe to follow, get a knockback right after, Axe Sauce into Chicago, sending out Demon Doggers. There's no way Chicago lives this right. There's going to be all these pets around you, double Felguard cleaving you down. There's nothing he can do, but definitely played that admirably. I think actually played against that entire team of 4, right? I think it was like Chicago 1v4. Diabolical joining back in as a Destruction Warlock, trying to go for a fear. He's going to have a lot of demons to deal with. Harambe, as long as he can just send in the pets, got himself called Dreadstalkers. It is so weird, by the way, as Destruction, or Demonology rather, that you call Dreadstalkers is not a instant cast anymore. The fact that you have to hard cast all of your pets, it is weird. I think the trait of being able to faster cast your Tyrant, faster cast your Vilefiend, faster cast those wolves, or doggos, I guess it's a nice little reversal, but like instance, I think was so much more convenient, so much burstier. Gonna be Harambe taking that Mortal Coil with him back behind the pillar. As Diabolical's out in the open, just absolutely getting mauled by these demons, cannot shake him off whatsoever. There's nothing you can do about it. There's either anything from little imps to demon doggons to a big old Felguard wreaking havoc, and Harambe does end up taking him out, or rather his demonic army that he set up took out Diabolicals. But well done is Harambe trying to see if he can bring it back for his team little by little. Who's up next? Is it going to be Griggs by chance? Is it going to be Beatman as another Shaman? We got to say Jiu-Jitsu. One of these boys got to go. And Beatman, he's feeling a little anxious. He just is pacing back and forth. He wants to play, but he's just waiting his turn as Jiu-Jitsu is going to be up next. That's a Monk versus a Warlock. I think a Warlock, honestly, has a bit of a better advantage in the situation, personally. Although, I mean, it could be anyone's game, really, couldn't it? Because I think Monk just doesn't have that much longevity. What is going on? This man is literally Super Saiyan all over the place. I feel like as soon as he just gets hit with a CC, the mobility and the crowd control just desyncs his character so badly that he literally just starts moving in as a Super Saiyan all over the screen. More demons spawning in. Jiu-Jitsu is just not in a great position right now. Does go in for the karma. This is why Harambe needs to hold back a lot of his defense. Needs to find a way to CC Jiu-Jitsu. It is going to be an Oblast down, so the pets are going to ramp up quite a bit of damage. Fear into Jiu-Jitsu. Blasted through the karma immediately. Oh my goodness, Harambe! My goodness. That is a lot of damage. The man barely broke a sweat. He just sent out a good set of pets. Demon Doggos. Nice little stun with a fear in there too. Well done. Beatman is going to be up next as an hits with Shamansman. Got himself Ghost Rolls up there ready as Harambe is looking for whatever recovery he can get at the 53% dampener here. All him and all his pets get rooted out. Sunder by Beatman does not quite connect with that Sunder. Still should be able to proc out his tier set if he's running a trinket immediately off of that Mortal Coil. Does not want to get set up with a fear or a stun or anything off of that one. Fear by Harambe onto the Earth Elemental. Knockup is going to happen by Beatman, but actually before he can go for a knockup, it's going to be poured for Harambe. Just trying to see if he can maybe position away from it. Reflect onto the Alien Blast. It is going to hurt for Beatman. He ends up hurting himself with a big Elemental Blast. Going to be a Tyrant. Access to follow. Beatman has nowhere to go. As long as you keep a soul on the guy, that might just go down right here. What is second? Oh my god, the double Felguard as well as a Vilefiend. If that Tyrant gets a cast on you, you're over. Beatman trying to see if he can escape, and does he get to Demon Doggers charge back in? His man is at no hold whatsoever. Felguard's again gets around him. No charm, but my god, Harambe is just bringing it back for his entire team. This guy is just on another level. Grix wants to give this man as much of an honor duel as possible. Harambe is at least given an opportunity to go for full first aid. Maybe if Grix wants to be even like extra generous, lets Harambe maybe drain soul, or drain life off of his like imps or something, or maybe not. I think Harambe just give an opportunity to at least get a breather, get his cooldowns back. I mean, that's an honor duel enough. And Grix, again, trying to be sure he's just extra careful with here, trying to give Harambe a chance, not advancing at him. Seeing the guy make a Hearthstone here, he's like, hold it back, hold it back, hold it back. Okay, plenty of time was given. Harambe immediately porting, his pets are going to be surrounding him. It's going to be Demonology Warlock versus Demon Warlock, so control of pets is going to be fundamentally huge here. Harambe is surrounded by a Vile Fiend as well as one of the pets is going to fear the Vile Fiend out of the way, reducing some of the damage he's going to take. That isn't actually summoned pet, as he's only now got only one Felgar to deal with, actually going to focus him on killing Grix's pets, while Grix is going to set up maybe potentially a set of like portals down in the middle. Stone to Harambe, those pets are still going to start wreaking havoc. Unless you're just constantly healing from all these pets, there's only so much you can do. Grix, Harambe needs to send in pets over to Grix as well. Grix has plenty of defenses to work with here, and you really got to start chipping away his defenses little by little. Harambe with a big tyrant, trying to see if he can make a play. Reflect is up, can't really be hit. Wait a second, Reflect for Reflect, Grix still going to do it. Oh my god, hit with a Mortar Coil. Oh my goodness, I don't think he might have actually sent a Mortar Coil at Harambe, and I think he came in back, return to the sender. Harambe came in, man. Look at this guy. My goodness. Good name, my man. Oh my god. Good name, good place. Harambe brings it back for his team, dude. Holding down the fort. Well done. After a hell of a game that Chicago had, for Harambe to come back like this.